Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa dammim bil khair. Naqis ya'i, defective verbs. And in Naqis ya'i, we have discussed two most commonly used abwab. The first one was daraba yadribu. And on the pattern of daraba yadribu, we have discussed Hada Yahdi. So it was basically Hadaya Yahdiyu, and after the changes, it becomes Hada Yahdi. Then the second most common was Fataha Yaftahu, and we have discussed Naha Yanha. And today, inshallah, the third one, which is slightly different when we talk about the past and the present, which is on the pattern of Sami'a Yasma'u, and the root letters that we have here, that is Noon, Sin, and Ya. So here the Salim, or the verb that does not have weak root letters, that is Sin, Mim, and Ain, Samia. And here if we see, we have Noon in the beginning, shouldn't be Noon. Yeah, Noon, then we have Sin, and then we have Ya. So the third root letter, when it is weak, we call it Naqis. That's why we call it Naqis. And if the third root letter is Waw, we say Naqis Wawi. And if the third root letter is Ya, we say Naqis Ya'i. In this case, we have Ya as the third root letter. So we say this is Naqis Ya'i. So it will be Noon, Sin, and Ya. And this is Nasiya. So do you see any difference here in Samia and Nasiya? They are the same, right? So and they are the same, as we can see here. As there is no need to make any change, because you know that the reason why we have to make changes, we have discussed a lot of them, and we don't find any of those reasons over here. So that's why it will be same as it is the first one. So the first one is Samia, and here it is Nasiya. The second one, also no change takes place. And the third one is Nasiyu. Now, inshallah, you will be able to tell me which change has to take place and why it has to take place. So the first one is okay. The second one is okay. But the third one, there is a small change that should take place. Hal min Mujib, is there anyone to give answer? What do we have here? We have Ya.
Yeah, with
and what do we have here? We have Waw. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have two weak letters. Yeah. When we have two weak letters together,
The root letter just dropped.
the root letter will be dropped. And the easy way to say is that the first root letter of the two will be dropped. So we drop Ya here. And there is another change that needs to take place. And you should know that change as well.
Kasra demands Ya, sir.
If you remember, we discussed that we don't look at the harakat, we look at the letters, because the letters are stronger than the harakat. So basically what's going to happen, Waw demands Dhamma. So what we have to do, we have to replace Kasra with Dhamma, and
Nasu.
it will be
Nasu.
Nasu.
And that's the only change that takes place over here. So Nasiya, Nasiya, Nasu, and then the rest will be the same as we have for Samia. So it will be Nasiyat, Nasiyata, Nasina, Nasita, Nasituma, Nasitum, Nasiti, Nasituma, Nasitunna, Nasitu, and Nasina. So it's the same as Samia, Samia, Samiu, and Samiyat. And here we have Nasiyat, Samiyata, and we have Nasiyata, and Samena, and here we have Nasina. So if you want more, you can write it down by yourselves. You can write the complete conjugation of Samia, and you can write down the complete conjugation of Nasiya, and inshallah, it will be easy for you. However, we have discussed it so many times. I believe there is no need to repeat the same thing again. So I'm going to remove this one, and your past conjugation of ajwaf, which is naqis ya'i, which is on the pattern of sami'a yasmi'u. So the past is clear now. So in the past, only one change has taken place, and that change was that we dropped the root letter, and then we put the haraka, which is according to the word or the letter. So we have waw here, and according to the waw, we have put dhamma over here. So the past is clear, right?
Yes, Ustad.
There is no need to change the first one, and there is no need to change the fourth one, because as we have seen here, there is no need to change them because these changes are not needed over here. So we move on to the present now, and in the present, we know that the present of Samia will be yasma'u. Samia, yasma'u, okay? So here we have Nasiya, so we will have yansayu. Yansayu, okay. Now what change should take place over here?
If ya is mutaharik, the before letter is alif fatha Ustad, then it changes to alif maksura.
Excellent. Normally it changes into alif, but in naqis ya'i, it changes into alif maqsura. And that's why it becomes yansa. So it will be nasiya, yansa, nasiya, yansa. So these changes are already, we have discussed these changes in the beginning. In naqis wawi, we have discussed in naqis ya'i, bab daraba yadribu, and we have also discussed in bab fataha yaftahu. And this is the same change that took place in naha yanha, and the same place has taken place over here. From yansayu, it has become yansa. So you know that if this is yansa, then this change will take place in 5 forms of the verb. So it will be yansa, tansa, tansa, ansa, and nansa. Okay, excellent. So that is change number 1, which has already taken place. And this change is not new, we know that already. In the second one, it's the same, yasma'ani and yansayani. So no change has taken place. And here, one change has to take place. And I'm sure you know about it. Yansayuna.
Yeah, is Dhamma gets deleted, Ustad.
Ya will be deleted. In fact, the whole root letter will be deleted. So that is ya madmuma. So ya will be deleted. And the second change, if you remember, if we have fatha.
Wow demands
Dhamma. If there is fatha, there is no need to make any change. Please remember this.
Okay.
And I discussed it several times, and I will repeat it again and again, inshallah, even during the lesson, that if we have fatha before it, then there is no need to make any change. That one is very, very important. If we only have, when we have kasra or dhamma, then we have to change according to the haraka and according to the letter. But if we have fatha before it, no change will take place. So it becomes yansauna. Yansauna. Okay, so if this is yansauna, then we know that this one will be tansauna. Both of them, the same change will be applicable as we have here yansa and tansa, tansa and ansa and nansa. So we know that 3 changes will take place, and the third one takes place when we talk about the second person feminine. So here we have tasma'ina, and here we have tansa'ina. Yeah, tasma'ina. So you know that this ya is a part of the construction. So the second ya is the part of the construction. So the first one has to be dropped. Okay, I'm going to drop the first one. Now, do I need to make any change?
No, Ustad.
Why not?
If it is fatha,
perfect. So there you go. So if there is fatha before it, then there is no need to make any change. So it will be tansayna. And how do we know that? Voice is too low. Okay, so how do we know that our conjugation is okay? If we see here tansayna and we see here tansayna, that means that they should be equal. Yeah, they should be the same. So that means our conjugation. This is just like a kind of, a rule that we have just like derived, but this is not a fixed rule. So in fact, when you find these two together, that means they are the same. that means now our conjugation is fine and we are good to go. So I'm going to delete this one. As usual, what we do, we first look at the original form and then we look at the changes. And you have noticed now that in all naqis, whether it is naqis wawi or ya'i, in the present tense, only 3 changes will take place. The first one, the third one, and then here we have the one for the feminine singular, which is for the mukhatab, for the second person. So it will be yansa, yansayani, yansauna, tansa, tansayani, yansaina, tansa, tansayani, tansauna. And we are going to delete this one as well because we don't need it anymore. We only needed it just to see what kind of changes will take place. And after that, we have tansaina, tansayani, tansaina, ansa, and nansa. So these are the changes that took place, and these changes are the old changes. There is nothing new about these changes. Is this clear?
Yes, Ustad.
Okay, so our 3 abwab, daraba yadribu, hada yahdi, and then we have fataha yaftahu, naha yanha, and now we have sami'a yasma'u, which is nasiya yansa. They are inshallah clear now. Now just look at when we use lam before that. What happens when we use lam before that? Okay, let's see if you remember. If we put lam before that, what will happen? What's gonna happen?
The last letter becomes sakin, Ustad.
The last letter becomes sakin. In this case, the last one is alif maqsura. So when we drop it, it changes into regular seen. Regular seen, yes, it becomes lam yansa. Okay, so if this is lam yansa, then this one will be lam tansa. Yeah, they will be the same. Lam tansa and lam ansa and lam nansa. Okay. Okay, now when you are speaking, if you say, I didn't forget you, you will say, lam ansaka. You don't prolong it. Because you know that there was alif maqsura that has been dropped. So I didn't forget anything. Lam ansa shayyan. So I did not forget anything. Yes? Sorry?
Yes, Ustad. Noon gets dropped, Ustad.
Yeah, and the second one, we know that the noon gets dropped. So yansayani. So if it drops for the first one, then it will be also dropped for the dual here and for the dual here and for the dual here. So it will be lam yansaya, lam tansaya, lam tansaya, and lam tansaya. And then we talk about the plural. We know 2 changes will take place. Number 1, the noon
again,
will be
the noon
dropped.
gets dropped.
Excellent. And it will be replaced by
sakin, alif.
Alif. We will place alif over there. Just to indicate that noon has been dropped. And this is only for the plural for masculine and feminine. So it becomes lam yansau, and this one becomes lam tansau. And here, as we know, what will happen is the noon gets dropped. So it becomes lam tansai. Lam tansai. So these are the changes. And these 2 we know for the feminine plural. We will put lam over there, but we know that no changes. Yeah, because they are mabni, and mabni means that they don't accept any change. Okay, so that is when we talk about when we use haruf al-jazima, which is lam. We have chosen lam and harf lan because they are the most commonly used in Arabic language and also in the Quran. So lam means didn't, and lan, when we use that, means will not. So you should know the meaning as well. So when we use harf lan, it means will not. Okay. Okay. Lan yansa. Okay. Do you remember about the changes that for yanha, tanha, tanha? Do you remember if any change took place over there?
The normal alif, instead of alif maksura, normal alif will be there, Ustad.
No, sister, no change will take place.
Okay.
Because alif maqsura does not accept any haraka on it. It does not accept fatha, dhamma, or kasra. As per the rule, it should be lan yansaya. It should be lan yansaya. But we know that alif maqsura does not accept fatha or dhamma or kasra. So as one of the sisters said yesterday, this is called fatha al-muqaddara. Yani fatha it is supposed to be there. So we say that mahallan it's there, but in Arab we do not show it. So it's not being shown, but in reality we know that a fatha is over there. So it will be lan yansa. So if we have this lan yansa, then this one will be lan tansa, lan tansa, lan ansa, and lan ansa. Okay. If you want to say I will not forget it. So you will say lan ansahu. Yeah, refers it lan ansahu. And you should remember that when after alif maqsura, if we put anything after that, like any attached pronoun, so then it changes into a regular alif. So I will not forget it, or I will not forget it. So you will say lam ansahu, I will not forget it. Or you say lan ansaka, I will not forget you. So this is the only change in writing. You should remember that in writing, only in writing, it changes into regular alif when we have attached pronoun or when we have anything after that. But if we don't have attached pronoun or we don't have anything after that, then it remains as it is, and it is called alif maqsura, and we know that alif maqsura does not accept any haraka. Okay, when we talk about the dual, you know what happens to the dual, right?
Yes, Mr.
The noon gets dropped. Okay, perfect. So mashallah, now we have practiced this for a long time. And this rule is applicable to both weak letters and the salim, the ones that doesn't have weak letters, all of them. This change will take place over there. And for the masculine plural, third person, it will be lan yansau. We know that the noon gets dropped and it will be replaced by alif. So this is lan yansau. So this one will be lan tansau, and again noon will be dropped and alif will be added. And then for the feminine, the one and only, the only thing happens, the noon gets dropped. So all of them that have noon, the noon gets dropped, except for two forms of feminine plural, which is the third person and the second person. No change takes place. Whether we use harfilan or we use lam, no change takes place with them. So these rules already, you know them. I told you that, I know that you're able to do it, you can do it, but as I said, I want you to show you at least one time by myself, just for my own satisfaction, and inshallah after that, it's up to you. As much practice you want, you can do. And fi'l al-amr, we know that how to make fi'l al-amr. First, we have to drop the last letter, sakin, and then we have to drop the alamat al-mudari, and then we have to add hamzat al-wasl or hamzat al-wasl. Shall we put dhamma or kasra? Please remember that we can put only dhamma or kasra. Okay, in this case we put kasra. Why is that?
Not Nasara groups.
Yeah, two reasons. Number one, this does not belong to Bab Nasara Yansuru, and number two, if you see fatha or you see kasra, then we have to put kasra only. So the same thing happens here. We drop noon, and then we drop alamat al-mudari, and then we put hamzat al-wasl, and with kasra, so it will be insa, insaya, and this one will be, yes, please tell me, noon will be dropped, and don't forget we have to put alif. And then we have to drop alamat al-mudari, and we put
alif, insaw.
Insaw, okay, insaw. So insa, you forget, insaya, you both forget, insaw, you all forget. And then for tansayna, we know that the noon will be dropped.
Noon gets dropped.
And also alamat al-mudari gets dropped, and then we put hamzat al-wasl with kasra, so it will be insay. And this one, both of them are the same, insaya, excellent. Mashallah. And then this one, insayna, we know that the noon is mabni, it will not change. However, alamat al-mudari is not mabni, it gets dropped, and then we put hamzat al-wasl over there with kasra. So insa, insaya, insaw, insay, insaya, insayna. Okay, so you forget, you both forget, and you all forget. Okay, and then the last thing we know that how to make fi'l nahi when you want to stop someone from doing something. So we put la an-nahiya, and the ending becomes sakin, so it becomes la tansa. La tansa. La tansani fi du'aikum. Don't forget me in your prayers. And then this one will be lan tansaya. Yeah. And then it will be la tansawni fi du'aikum. You all don't forget me in your prayers. Okay. So la tansa, la tansaya, la tansaw. And this one will be la tansay. And the next one is the same as we have here, la tansaya. So both of them, but we need to know that if we are talking to two masculine and or to two feminine, then only we will use this la tansaya and la tansaya. And then for the feminine, it will remain as it is, la tansayna. If I'm talking to my sisters, ya akhawati la tansayna fi du'aikum. Don't forget me in your prayers. All right, but if I'm talking to brothers and sisters together, then I will say la tansaw. Excellent, because it includes both. So if my audience is mixed, so then I will say la tansaw. But if I have the audience is only sisters, then I will say la tansayna. All right, so alhamdulillah, I believe we tried our best, tried to go, step by step, discussed everything in detail, one by one. And this is not enough, inshallah. As I say, we will also discuss them in the during the lessons as well. And that's the most beautiful part, that in the lesson, we will also practice them. And once we practice them, inshallah, then we will get used to it and we will come to know how to use them. Okay. Now
Ustad,
yes, sure.
Sorry, Ustad, I have a question. If you go back 2 pages up, like lam yansa.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. I hope I haven't closed it. All right. Yes.
Yeah, that one.
Is it
example,
being shared? Is it being shared? Can you see the Word file?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
File? Okay.
Lam yansa. How do you do i'rab of it? Is that fi'lul mudari majzumun bil sukun or majzumun bil what? How do you do i'rab of this?
Lam yansa. It's majzum.
Majzumun bil sukun. The all sukun al muqaddara.
Yes, it's majzum bil sukun because what we did, there was alif maqsura and we dropped it. Yeah. So it will be sakit or majzum bil sukun. Yes.
Sukun muqaddara, because I cannot see
muqaddara. That's right, yeah. Because that has been dropped.
Jazakallah khairan.
All right. So here ad-darsu al-thaminu wal-ishruna, lesson number 28. Can you see the book now?
No, sir.
Or you still see the okay, so
yes.
I pause it first and then I go to the book and you should be able to see now. Do you see the book now?
No, sir.
Lamma.
Still.
Just okay. So it will be lamma naraha. We still don't see it, right? Okay. So, okay, resume share. What about now?
نعم الآن.
الحمد لله. Yes, Ustad.
هل ترون الشاشة؟ هل ترون الكتاب؟ نعم نرى. You said نعم نرى. Yes, we see. Okay, because ra'a, inshallah, we are going to discuss it today. So ad-darsu al-thaminu wal-ishruna, lesson number 28. We have Ibrahim and Su'ad. Ibrahimu, ماذا تفعلين يا بنتي? What are you doing, oh my daughter? Yeah, taf'alina. So we know this is the only exclusive form of the verb which is used for the second person feminine mukhatab. When you're talking to a second person feminine, then we use the ina sound, taf'alina. ماذا تفعلين يا بنتي? What are you doing, oh my daughter? Binti, so that's why I say my daughter. So Adu, she says akwi athiyaba. Okay, now you can see here. Kawa yakwi. Kawa yakwi akwi. So what do you think is the pattern here? Hada yahdi, right? Hada yahdi. Yeah, kawa yakwi. So akwi athiyaba. I am ironing the clothes. التي غسلناها أمس. The ones we washed yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. And ha refers to the clothes, thiyab. Yeah. So we know that thiyab is the plural of thawbun. Thawbun means one fabric or cloth, and thiyab is clothes. And it is treated as singular feminine, and that's why the damir that we have to use, the pronoun that has to be used will be the one that we used for singular feminine. So it will be allati ghasalnaha. So ha refers to the thiyab. Okay, Ibrahimu akwaiti al-qamisa al-abyada. Did you iron the white shirt? Akwaiti. So from kawa, and you know that if you do the conjugation a couple of times, like hada, hadaya, hadau, and hadaita, hadaitum, hadaitum, and then kawa, kawaya, kawau, kawat, kawata, kawaina, kawaita, kawaituma, kawaitum, kawaiti. Yeah. So it's akwaiti al-qamisa al-abyada. Did you iron the white shirt? Su'adu, na'am.
No.
Kawaituhu. Yes, I ironed it. Kawaituhu. Okay. And who refers to the shirt. So if it is singular, we say who, and if it is plural, then it becomes ha. Ibrahimu wal qamisa al akhdara, and the green shirt. Su'adu. Why do I say Su'adu in Ibrahimu? Yeah, why you shouldn't forget about this? Why is that?
Alamul ajamiyatu mamnu min as-sarf.
Yes, excellent. Alamul ajam mamnu min as-sarf. Both of them. Ibrahim, if it is the name of the prophet, then we would say, since it's the name of the prophet, and you know, most the names of the prophets, except for 6, all of them are mamnu min as-sarf, and the names of the feminine, all of them are mamnu min as-sarf. So it will be Su'adu. La lam akwihi ba'du. Lam akwihi ba'du. I haven't ironed it yet, or I did not iron it. Okay, now I sent you the handouts yesterday. If you had the chance to look at the handouts, this is an expression which is used when you want to say that you haven't done the job yet. So you can say, I haven't ironed it yet, or I didn't iron it. Both of them will be the same. Lam akwihi ba'du. Now you know it was akwi, but the ya has been dropped because of lam. So it was akwi, ya was there, but because of lam, that has been dropped. Ba'du, yet. So I haven't ironed it yet. Sa'akwihi al-ana insha'allahu. I will iron it now if Allah wills. Okay, sa'akwi, sa, you know this is harf istiqbal, which is used for the future. And this is used for the nearest future.
Nearest.
Yeah. Sawfa is also used for the future, but that is used for little bit far or farther future. And sa is used for the nearest future. Sa'akwihi al-ana insha'allah. I will iron it straight away, or now if Allah wills. Now here ya has come back because we don't have lam, so that's why ya has come back. It returns over there. Ibrahim says, wal manadilu akawaitaha, akawaitiha. And what about the handkerchiefs or the handkerchiefs? Did you iron them? Su'adu ummi kawatha fi sabahi. My mother, my mother ironed them in the morning. Yeah, kawat, kawa, kawata, kawau, kawat. Number 4. Yeah, ummi, my mother, kawatha, ironed them fi sabahi, in the morning. My mother ironed them in the morning, or if she's the mother of both of them, then she will say our mother ironed it in the morning. Ibrahimu, aturidina an taquli li shay'an. Okay, do you want to say something to me? Okay, aturidina, again, do you want? And because of an, you know that it was taqulina, but because of an, the noon has been dropped. Similarly, turidina, here the noon is retained. It's not dropped because normally for the second person mukhatab, when we talk about the person, if she is feminine and you are talking to her, atadhabina, ataf'alina, aturidina. So when she's in front of you, so it's aturidina. But we know that when we put an, then the noon gets dropped. Yeah, so noon has been dropped and ya has been retained over there. So aturidina an taquli li shay'an. You know that the word qala yaqulu always comes with the preposition of li. You know that, right? So li, to me, shay'an, anything. Do you want to say anything to me, or do you want to say something to me? So adu na'am, inna zamilati salwa da'atni ila baytiha. Indeed, our colleague or my colleague Salwa invited me to her house. هذا المساء, this evening. فأرجو, and I request أن تسمح لي, that you allow me بالذهاب, to go إلى بيتها, to her house. بعد, after Salat al-Asri, after the Asr prayer. Indeed, my colleague Salwa invited me to her house this evening. So I request you to allow me to go to her house this afternoon or after Salat al-Asr. So inna, we know that inna has ismu inna, khabaru inna. So inna zamilati will be ismu inna and salwa will be khabaru inna. Yeah, da'at, da'a yad'u. This is naqis wawiya. Da'atni, she invited me. دعتني إلى بيتها, to her house. هذا المساء. فأرجو, رجا يرجو, رجا يرجو. So this is also, which one is this, by the way? ناقص واوية, the same as دعا يدعو, رجا يرجو. So فأرجو أن تسمح لي, it was تسمح, but because of an it has become تسمح. تسمح لي بالذهاب. What do you remember about الذهاب? This is the masdar of ذهب يذهب, right? So when you ask someone about something, so you say تسمح لي بالذهاب, so we ask with the preposition of ba. Again, this preposition, as I told you, I believe the most commonly used preposition in Arabic language. So allow me to go to her house بعد صلاة العصر, after Asr prayer. Ibrahimu idhabi, you go. Warji'i, and you come back بعد صلاة المغرب, after Maghrib prayer. So these are idhabi and warji'i. These are, yes, what kind of verbs are these? Fi'l al-amr, right? Yeah, so this is basically dhahaba yadhabu, and this is raja'a yarja'u. Raja'a yarja'u. So these both of them are not weak. They are the regular verbs. And we have discussed how to make fi'l al-amr for these. Idhabi warji'i ba'da salat al-maghribi, go and come back after Maghrib prayer. Aminatu, ya Aba Muhammadu, O Aba Muhammad. Ta'ala huna wanzur, come here and see. Ta'ala huna wanzur, and ta'ala is basically one of the beautiful verbs that is used to call someone. So we use ta'ala, and wanzur, and you see. Come here and see. Inna, indeed, Muhammadan. Why is it Muhammadan?
Because inna
Ismu inna, please. Yeah, you should say complete now. Ismu inna is always mansoob. Example is inna Allah. Inna Allah ghafurun rahimun. Ismu inna will be always mansoob. Inna Muhammadan yajri. Yajri. Try to figure out. Yajri. Which pattern is this? You should be able to at least find out the pattern.
يضرب.
Yeah, yani hada yahdi, hada yahdi, baka yabki, kawa yakwi, jara yajri, yeah, jara yajri, yeah. Inna Muhammadan yajri ala sullami. Muhammad is running on the stairs, and yajri and tajri min tahtiha al-anharu. This is used a lot in the Quran, this expression. So tajri is used for the jannats because they are feminine. So that's why it is tajri. So inna Muhammadan yajri ala sullami. Muhammad is running on the stairs. Akhsha an yaqa. I fear that he will fall down. Akhsha. Yalla. Which one is this? Today's khashiya yakhsha. Today's khashiya yakhsha. Sami'a yasma khashiya yakhsha. The one that we discussed today. Nasiya yansa. Yeah, khashiya yakhsha. Okay. So yakhsha, takhsha, akhsha, right? Akhsha an yaqa. Okay, what about yaqa? what kind of verb is this? First of all, it was yaqa'u, and because of an, it has become yaqa, okay? This is basically mithal, which is waqa'a, yaqa'u. So waqa'a yaqa'u, and you know that when it is mudari, then the waw gets dropped. So this is basically mithal. Wa'ada ya'idu, you remember? And this is wahaba yahabu on the pattern of wahaba yahabu, because we know that either it comes on the pattern of daraba yadribu or it comes on the pattern of fataha yaftahu. So in this case, it is on the pattern of fataha yaftahu, waqa'a yaqa'u. Waqa'a also has many different meanings. Here it has been used in the context of falling down. Akhsha an yaqa, I am afraid that he will fall down. And Ibrahim says, la tajri. Yeah, jara yajri, la tajri. So this is la an-nahiya. So he is stopping him. So it was basically ya was there. And we know because of la an-nahiya, ya has been dropped. La tajri ya Muhammadu, don't run, O Muhammad. Ta'ala huna, come here. Ma hadha bi yaminika. What is this in your hand? Okay, please remember that with all the body parts, the preposition that is used is ba. ماذا بيمينك ما تلك بيمينك يا موسى. Irfan, do you remember that verse?
Surah Taha, sir.
Taha, yeah. And also تبارك الذي بيده الملك. Yeah, so all the body parts with them, the preposition ba is used. Again, the use of preposition ba. As I said, it's very common. So ma هذا بيمينك, what is in your hand? Arini, show me. This is verb fail number 4, which is aslama yuslimu. So inshallah, we will discuss about it when we reach the extended forms of the verb. As of now, you should only remember that ari means show, arini, show me. Show me. So this is the 4th form of the verb. Arini, show me. Irmi. So this one is rama yarmi. So from rama yarmi and hada yahdi, the same. So in hada yahdi, we have ihdi, you know, fi'l al-amr, ihdi. And in rama yarmi, fi'l al-amr is irmi. Irmi hada, throw it. Hada turabun, this is dust. So he says throw it, this is dust. Okay, so irmi. You remember something from the verb rama yarmi?
وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى.
Surah Anfal, I think.
Yes, and also when we go for Hajj, we do ramyun. Rama yarmi ramyun, rami, yeah, that we say, okay? So that's basically throwing stones. So irmi hada, throw it, hada turabun, this is dust. Okay, I believe it's enough for today, inshallah. When Muhammad enters, yadkhulu Mahmudan, Mahmud enters, and we will say what Mahmud has got to say. So please, I would strongly recommend that go through the text, go through the verbs, and don't forget to go through the vocab that I sent you. Ignore the handouts, ignore everything, but don't ignore the vocab, because without vocab, you will not be able to understand these lessons. And you should get used to these expressions. For example, hada yahdi, and then naha yanha, and nasiya yansa. These are only 3. Yes, these are only 3. And once you get used to them, you are on the highway. That's it.
She hasn't prayed, I believe. She hasn't prayed.
Okay, brother. So inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
شكرا.
جزاك الله خيرا شيخ.
وإياكم حبيبي.